His name was Jae-won. He was 20 years old, Korean, quiet and careful with his words. He had a gentle face, dark eyes that always looked like they were thinking about something deep, and hands that were always holding a book or a pen. He came to this university far from home, carrying a small suitcase and big dreams. Her name was Amara. She was also 20 years old, black, beautiful, and full of a kind of sadness that she hid behind a warm smile. She had grown up hearing that she was not enough, not pretty enough, not worthy enough, not lovable enough. People said it with their mouths. They said it with their eyes. And after a while, she started to believe them. She sat alone most of the time at school. Not because she was unfriendly, not because she was cold, but because people had made her feel like being near her was something to be ashamed of. So she kept to herself. She read books by the window. She wrote in her journal. She talked to herself more than she talked to people. Jae-won saw her on the very first day of school. She was sitting under a big tree near the library, reading a thick book, with the wind playing in her hair. She looked peaceful, but her eyes told a different story. He didn't know why, but something in his chest moved when he looked at her. Not in a loud way. In the quiet way that matters more. It was raining the day Jae-won finally spoke to her. He had been watching from afar for 2 weeks, wondering what to say, afraid of saying the wrong thing. Then one Tuesday afternoon, the sky opened up and rain poured down fast and hard. Everyone ran for cover. Amara was caught outside with no umbrella. Her books pressed tightly to her chest, rain wetting her shoulders. Without thinking, Jae-won walked to her and held his umbrella over her head. She looked up, surprised. She almost stepped away. She was used to people moving away from her, not toward her. Jae-won, you'll ruin your books. Please share with me. Amara looked at him for a long second. Then she nodded. They stood together under that small umbrella, shoulder to shoulder, watching the rain fall like a curtain around them. They didn't say much, but it was the kind of silence that felt like a beginning. Amara, you didn't have to do that. Jae-won, I know. I wanted to. She smiled. A small, careful smile. The kind that a person gives when they are not yet sure if they can trust something good. Word travels fast on a college campus. When people saw Jae-won and Amara walking together, sitting together at lunch, studying side by side in the library, they started talking. His friends pulled him aside one evening near the basketball court. There were 3 of them, boys he had known since orientation week. They thought they were helping him. They thought they were being honest. But honesty without love is just cruelty with a clean face. Friend 1. Jae-won, why are you spending so much time with that girl? People are talking. Friend 2. She's not your type, man. Just leave her. You can do better. Friend 3. She's black. People will think you're weird. Is that what you want? Jae-won stood very still. He looked at each of them. Then he looked down at the ground for a moment, like he was searching for the right words inside himself. Jae-won, you're talking about her skin. I'm talking about her heart. Those are very different conversations. He walked away, and he did not slow down. But Amara heard about it. Someone told her. And that night, alone in her room, she cried quietly into her pillow. Not because she was surprised, but because she was so tired. Tired of being the reason people had to choose. Tired of being the problem in other people's stories. The next day, Amara found Jae-won at their usual spot in the library. She sat down across from him. She had rehearsed what she was going to say the whole walkover. Amara, I think we should stop spending time together. Jae-won looked up from his book slowly. Jae-won, why? Amara, because it's causing problems for you. I don't want to be someone's problem. Jae-won, you're not my problem. You are my peace. There is a very big difference. Amara's eyes filled with tears. She looked away quickly, blinking fast. Amara, Jae-won, you don't understand. I've spent my whole life watching people leave. I've spent my whole life hearing that I'm not enough. And I can't. I cannot fall for someone, and then watch them leave too. I can't survive that again. He was quiet for a moment. Then he leaned forward and spoke softly. Jae-won, then let me stay. Let me show you what it looks like when someone chooses not to leave. She didn't say anything. But she didn't get up and walk away either. She just sat there, crying quietly, and he sat there with her, not trying to fix anything, not saying the wrong things, just being present. And sometimes, being present is the bravest thing a person can do. A few nights later, they were sitting outside on the stone steps near the campus fountain. It was late. The stars were out. The whole world felt very quiet and very big at the same time. Amara spoke first. Amara, can I ask you something honest? Jaewon. Always. Amara, what do you see when you look at me? Not what you feel. What do you actually see? Jaewon was quiet for a long time. Not because he didn't know, but because he wanted to say it exactly right. Jaewon, I see someone who has been fighting a battle that she never asked for. I see someone who is still soft after everything that has tried to make her hard. I see someone who reads books in the rain, and still holds the pages carefully. I see someone who smiles even when she is hurting. I see someone who is deeply, completely worth loving, and who has just not been loved the right way yet. Amara covered her mouth with her hand. She was trembling. Amara, why are you like this? Jaewon, because you deserve someone who sees you. All of you. Not just the parts that are easy. Then she talked. She talked about growing up feeling invisible. She talked about the boys who looked past her, the girls who whispered behind her back, the mirrors she avoided because she had learned to see herself through other people's unkind eyes. She talked for a long time. And Jaewon listened. Every word. Without interrupting. Without checking his phone. Without making her feel like she was too much. He just listened. And in that moment, something cracked open inside of Amara. Not broke, opened. Like a door that had been locked for a very long time. Months passed. Then a whole year. Then 2. Jaewon and Amara became the kind of couple that people noticed. Not because they were loud or showy, but because something about the way they looked at each other made people feel something. Something warm. Something real. They studied together. They cooked together. Him teaching her how to make Korean rice cakes. Her teaching him how to make her grandmother's jollof rice. They argued sometimes, the way real people do. About small things. About which movie to watch. About who forgot to call. But they always came back to each other. Always. People on campus still talked. Some of them never stopped. But Jaewon and Amara had learned something important. The voices outside can only hurt you if you let them be louder than the voice inside. And inside? Inside they knew exactly what they had. Amara, do you ever regret it? Choosing me when everyone told you not to. Jaewon, Amara, every single good thing in my life since I came to this school. You are connected to it. How could I regret the best decision I ever made? She laughed. A full, real laugh. The kind that comes from the belly. The kind she thought she had lost forever. And he laughed too, watching her, thinking quietly that this moment, this laugh, this woman, was worth every hard conversation, every cold shoulder, every disapproving look. Every single one. It happened on a quiet Wednesday. Graduation was getting close. The whole campus felt different. Like the world was preparing to open its arms wide and take everyone into the next chapter of their lives. Amara was walking across the courtyard when she heard a group of girls whispering as she passed. She used to stop. She used to slow down her steps and lower her head and walk smaller, trying to take up less space so people would forget she was there. But this time she didn't stop. She walked with her shoulders back and her head up and her heart steady. Not because she had stopped feeling things, but because she had stopped letting other people's smallness become her cage. She had someone who saw her, really saw her. And that had changed everything. That evening, she told Jaewon what happened. Amara, I walked past them and I didn't even flinch. I just kept walking. Like I had somewhere important to be. Jaewon, you do have somewhere important to be. You have your whole life to be. She reached out and took his hand. His fingers closed around hers. No big words. No drama. Just that. Just that. They graduated on a bright, warm Saturday morning. Jaewon stood in the crowd and watched Amara walk across the stage. She was glowing. Not because of the gown, not because of the diploma, but because she had made it through. She had made it through every whisper and every wound and every moment she had almost believed she was not worth loving. She made it through. And she made it through whole. He cheered so loud that people around him laughed. He didn't care. Later, sitting on the grass with their gowns open and their caps on the ground beside them, they talked about the future. Not in a scared way. In an excited way. In the way that people talk when they know they are not walking into it alone. Amara. I used to think that love was something that happened to other people. Pretty people. Easy people. People who didn't have to fight so hard just to be seen. Jiwon. And now, Amara. Now I think love is exactly the thing that finds you in the middle of your fight. When you're tired. When you don't believe in yourself anymore. That's when it shows up. At least, that's when you showed up. He smiled at her. The same quiet, steady smile from that rainy day 2 years ago. The smile that had said, without using a single word, I see you. I am not going anywhere. Jaewon. I will always show up, Amara. For you, I will always show up. The world had tried to pull them apart. People had used their words like scissors, trying to cut the thread between them. But love, real love, the kind built on conversations and patience and staying, does not cut easily. It bends in the storm. It stretches. It holds. And their love held. It held through the whispers and the warnings. It held through the tears and the doubts. It held through every test that the world threw at it. And on the other side of all of that, they were still there. Together. Stronger. Unbroken. Because some things are worth fighting for. Some people are worth staying for. And Amara, with her warm smile and her warrior heart, was worth every single storm. Love is not about who the world approves of. Love is about who your soul recognizes and refuses to let go. Did this story touch your heart? Yellow heart. If you felt something reading this, share it. Someone out there needs to be reminded that their love story is worth fighting for. Speech balloon, drop a comment below. Have you ever loved someone the world didn't approve of? Thumbs up like this story. Bell, subscribe for more. Outbox Dre Shar.